Man, check out this 2LT dashboard. It's like an interior Grand Canyon. Now listen, I always said go with the 2LT, guys. That's the way to go. But for some of you guys that are considering the 3LT, you might want to take some second considerations, because this is what's happening to some of those 3LT dashboards. Delamination. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's a shame to have such a nice car on the exterior, but then after 8 to 10 months, or maybe even a little bit longer from the heat, you end up with an interior that looks like that. Let's go. What's going on, YouTube? It's your man Griff, and you know what it is. We're doing things a little bit different this week, so I'm gonna throw you guys the keys. You drive, I'll take the passenger seat, and I'll do the talking. But listen, before we take off, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, and definitely do me a favor and hit that like button. It helps promote the video, gets more traction, and it allows me to produce more content. Let's roll. All right, listen guys, before we get started, we're just gonna ride for a little bit, man. Just wanna tell you guys how much I'm enjoying this car. Now, I know a lot of folks have gotten their cars. I appreciate you guys in the comments. Let me know that you got your cars, but I know that there's still a lot of people that are waiting for their cars. And I know for me, when I was waiting for my car, I used to like to watch YouTube videos of guys who had the car, like to hear their experiences, like to know how they're enjoying the car, like to know what they're doing, like to understand the performance aspects of it. It just kind of helped me pass the time a little bit. So that's what I'm doing with you guys today, just helping you pass a little bit of time. So we just took a nice little ride today, you know, up through the mountains, watched some of the foliage as the leaves start to turn over, man. It was really, really nice. The car is a pleasure, man. I mean, I'm telling you guys, listen, I've mentioned it in a previous video. I like to drive the car in sport. You know, I didn't put it in track. I didn't mess with the paddle shifters on this particular drive, but I just had the car in sport. But it's amazing how many people want to test you, you know, even when you're in the slow lane. I'm just kind of cruising at times, just relaxing, just kind of taking it all in. You'd be surprised how many people pull up on you and want to race, you know, from Hellcats to Challengers to Mustangs to Lexus, Infinities, Red Storms. I mean, everybody wants to race when you're on the road with this car. So your man Griff has to just kind of take it easy from time to time. Every now and then I got to give him the business, but a lot of times I just kind of pull back and take it easy. But the car is definitely a pleasure to drive. Can't say I didn't punch it a little bit on this open road. But the car is just, it's a lot of fun to drive, guys. So I enjoy taking you guys on some of these rides that don't have your cars yet, just to pass the time. So with that being said, let's jump into the content. All right, guys, so listen, let's get right into it. So what's going on with this 3LT dashboard issues? What's going on is what they call delamination, right? So delamination is a failure in a laminated material, often a composite, which leads to separation of the layers of reinforcement or plies. Delamination failure can be of several types, such as a fracture within an adhesive or resin, fracture within the reinforcement, okay? So what's happening is not happening on the 2LTs, not to my knowledge, okay? It's your man Griff just being honest with you. I don't believe it's happening on the 2LTs because the dashboards are made of a different material, okay? The overlays are a little bit different, but it is happening with 3LTs, okay? So what is the particular problem here? Well, let's look at the 3LT options. The third trim level continues to make the interior of the Corvette luxurious, okay? With the console, instrument panel, and door trim panels all wrapped in leather, okay? It is this very leather and often challenging workmanship that appears to be the problem here, guys. See, that leather has issues with heat. It historically has had issues with heat, okay? And cold, all right? We know that leather it's breathable, all right? So it has problems. So it appears that it could be a problem with temperatures, and it also could be some workmanship, okay? Let's agree that there's been some problems with some of the workmanship levels of the vehicle. You know, I still got some panel gap issues on my car that are minor. I'm not really worried about them, but let's just all agree that all manufacturers have some issues, okay? And what I will tell you guys, at this delamination, I can't even say it, this delamination issue, it doesn't just happen with Corvettes. It happens with a lot of vehicles that have leather dashboards, okay? The sun and the heat, it just tends to wreak havoc. Now, I could point a finger at GM and just say, oh man, they're just not doing it right. But it happens with a lot of manufacturers when you have these leather dashboards. Hey guys, listen, if you made it this far, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, and definitely hit that thumbs up button. Let's get back to it. You see guys, leather contains natural oils that are sensitive to heat, so leaving your car parked in the sun for long periods of time will cause the leather to dry out and become tough. Now over time, overexposure to the heat can evaporate those natural oils in the fabric, causing it to dry up and pull away from its original base. Now listen, I'm not telling you guys not to get the 3LT. This is your man Griff. I'm just telling you to think twice, especially if you live in one of the hottest states in the US. Now, a lot of folks have said, well, Griff, you know, my car's in the garage. Listen, you guys need to put a thermometer in your garage, because if you're in a very hot state, that garage can reach heat temperatures in excess of 70 to 80 degrees when the car is just sitting in there. So a lot of heat, you know, to the type of leather that's being installed in these vehicles, it just may not be conducive to the application. And I think that the manufacturers, I don't know if they go through that level of stress testing when they're developing these products. You know, I think it looks good, it feels good, they put it in. I don't even know if they do temperature testing on these things. But again, this is just your man Griff letting you know that if you're considering a 3LT, you might want to think twice about it, because there have been issues where the delamination of the leather is starting to pull back. Now, I would hate to spend in excess of $100,000 for a car. Again, I mentioned it earlier, only for 6, 8, 10, 12, even 18 months later for the leather to start pulling away from it. That would be a very frustrating situation. So if you live in one of the top 10 states in the US, Florida, Hawaii, Louisiana, Texas, Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, South Carolina, or Arizona, you might want to consider whether or not you absolutely need that 3LT. Listen, this is your man Griff signing out till next week. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.